Meat in the freezer.
So happy I'm on lunch.
It's so stupid. I think it might work.
Chaos? Like every hunting season.
Seems like it's not going anywhere, but it also seems like it could go somewhere.
He lost his paper bag, I swear.
I will not. I'm actually pretty good directionally.
We should be good to go.
This is the Okayest Hunter podcast.
It's weird.
Never pass on shooter bucks, 'cause that's just meat in the freezer. It's your tag, you hunt how you want. This is Okayest Hunter.
Boom, we're live. This is the Okayest Hunter podcast. We're coming at you from Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, but that may change.
We don't know.
We don't know where we're going to end up. We're trying to figure it out. I don't want to say we're getting kicked out because that implies we did something bad, but the building we're renting was sold, and now the new owner is going to move in, and we have to go.
So we're getting kicked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. We're getting evicted.
We're getting pushed out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Evicted sounds bad, but it's probably the right term.
I guess. We're looking at new places. We've looked at 2 so far. Yeah, it's tricky.
It's a tough decision.
What we want to do is have space for the podcast, in which we could get away with a really small room and just do that thing. But we have all these other ideas.
So many ideas.
We want to shoot our bows. We want to make content. We want to have seminars. We want to do whiteboard stuff. We want to do stuff. So then that increases the square footage, makes it trickier. And that's some behind the scenes stuff for anyone listening to the podcast that's wondering the hell we're doing.
Yeah. So it's good. Oh, by the way, don't forget the timeline. We have to be out by April 1st.
Which is directly after the Wisconsin Dells Open Season Trade Show, which that exhibit trade show or that our booth is here. So it's just, where do we put that then?
Great question. I mean, I'm thinking in my head, I'm envisioning we tear it down, we put it in a trailer, we take it up there, we set it up, we tear it down, and we drive it to the new location.
That would be, in theory, the best way to go.
Yeah. Will it work out that way?
I don't know. Time will tell, and it's tick-tocking pretty quick. I did want to do a call out to Nosler. I'm going to try my best. I didn't have as much time as I wanted to familiarize myself with what I had come up with. But a quick note for folks in straight wall states. So when we say straight wall cartridge, we're talking about ammo where the case doesn't taper. Are you familiar with this term, Tyler?
Yes, but
kind of.
Yeah.
It's designed for shorter range efficiency, manageable recoil, and most importantly, deer hunting in states that require it. So Nosler builds straight wall ammo with the same precision and consistency they're known for everywhere else. So you're not giving up performance just because of regulations. Kind of neat. Which states are straight wall states is something I actually kind of wanted to know. And this can change by unit, zone, weapon season, but most commonly referenced straight wall or straight wall friendly deer hunting state means that it's a state where it's called a straight wall state. If Tubbs were here, he would be able to elaborate on this more, but Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Kentucky, Missouri, and Tennessee, but there's an asterisk. Wisconsin straight wall now allowed to stay wide for deer. So don't take my word for any of this stuff. Look up your regulations, be confident, talk to your local DNR, whatever you got to do, your state municipality or local municipality stuff. But always check your state regs. Like, that's important. That being said, we're brought to you by Nosler. I wanted to do a better job this week just because I felt like I don't want to just say something weird every single time. I know it's a little bit humorous, but pretty neat. So what else?
I mean, I'll elaborate, Nosler. Yeah, no, you did a nice job. We'll give you some feedback. You did a nice job. That was good.
Oh, great for the feedback.
Yeah.
Real-time feedback.
Real-time feedback is what we're
man.
providing here. Their stuff works. Like, I'm a believer, right? We got it a couple of years ago. We shot it for the first time in the range, and it was awesome. Killed 2 doe with it this past season. I mean,
yeah. One more. You're using a whitetail country, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
It's a good bullet. Good brand. Their building is coming along really nicely. I'm hoping that we can get out there to take a look at their building and like give some folks a little bit more behind the scenes as they move in, because they're condensing some of their operations logistically to do that. And in doing so, maybe we'll head out to Gerber also, because they're in Oregon. and do a factory tour. They have some stuff coming out later this summer that would align really well. So we talked about that this morning. And all this to say, today's episode is going to be a bit of a Okayest origin story. And so if you have been following us for a long time, probably don't need to listen to this episode unless you're curious. If you're new here, I think we have a lot of newer listeners from some of the giveaway stuff we did last summer and last fall. Some of the social stuff we've set up to bring people through to the podcast I know this because I look at the stats, and our new listener, like, I don't know, followers or whatever you call subscribers, has increased dramatically. And I felt like I've done a bunch of podcast circuits where I've told our origin story in one way or another based on questions asked. So I've done that elsewhere, but I haven't really done it here. And to do it here, Tyler is here. One, because Derek couldn't make it tonight. And two, because Tyler's my business partner in all this. So he's the guy behind the scenes that you probably don't, you've seen him around. You've been on episodes. You're here. You're also the host of, or one of the hosts of the Upduck podcast on our network.
Yes.
You live in Oconomowoc. I live in Oconomowoc. So I wanted to just talk about the business side for a minute, because I don't know what else to talk about right now. I don't have a lot of good ideas for deer hunting season.
I mean,
there's a lot of stressors weighing on our business right now.
I mean, it's a good topic. I'll say I'm curious to get your side of the origin story and hear what your version of it, because I don't think I've ever listened to you on your podcast roadshow that you've done where you've told it.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you go to Spotify and type in Eric Clark or Okayest Hunter, you'll see. I think there's a spot on our website for this too, but I haven't updated it in a while. I used to be pretty good at keeping that up to date, but people usually ask, like, where did the idea come from, or how did this start? And it started when I shot a doe the year my daughter was born, which is 2017, and it was a doe fawn, and it just wasn't big. It was a very proud moment because I was a grown-ass man. I was married, owned a house, and had my daughter, and that was the first year I got with a bow. Now, I've shot other deer with my shotgun and rifle season in Wisconsin, but like getting a bow on public land, and it was an Ernabucks piece of land because it was a conservancy. I didn't know it was a doe fawn really till I got up on it, because it was a 15-yard shot from the ground uphill. And my dad happened to be on the same property as he came over. He was really proud. It was exciting. I was pretty emotional, just like, well, I did it. Bow hunting is really freaking hard. I've had a lot of mistakes up to this point. Finally made it happen. Take a picture proudly and post it to Facebook. Just got my first deer, with a bow. And it's like, can't believe you shot that thing. My dog's bigger than that. What were you thinking? And that just turned on, what's the reticulator called when you start seeing a red car everywhere because you have a red car kind of thing?
I'm actually not sure. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, there's a name for it. What's the reticulator thing when you see other cars on the road that you own? Let's see what it's called. There's a thing for this. This is stupid. Reticulated? This is not it. This is not what I'm looking for. Okay, well, I'm going to stop going down that rabbit hole because I don't have someone here to, maybe someone watching and tell me. Nonetheless, then I started noticing that happening all over the place on social media. And it was at that time that I started to think, like, I remember telling Dan Infault about this in my basement in my old home, because that's where the podcast was hosted then. But the basement was a bar, so we just set up shop. There was no video stuff really. I think maybe I had a GoPro or a webcam or something, but I was trying. And I was like, I just don't like people bullying people. This is stupid. What's wrong with people? I really should. He's like, you should do something about that. I was like, I should do something about that. And then, yeah, it's called Humble Hunter or something. And those names were terrible. And somewhere along the way, I just bought Okayest Hunter because I thought there wasn't a good way to go about it. If you just start to say, I'm humble, you should be humble. That felt like that wasn't going to work. I needed some other approach. And Okayest allowed for humor to kind of soften the beach head a little bit. And somewhere in that time period, I'd pitched the idea to Greg Tubbs and Jeff Genke. I didn't know Jeff Genke and Dan Infault had a bit of a falling out for whatever reason. And so what we had gone with was Huntland, HNTLND. So that was a little offshoot that we did. It was a spinoff of Grammar Girl, which is a podcast. I'm getting full circle. I'm sorry.
That's good.
I don't think I've shared a lot of this before. Grammar Girl was a podcast. I think it's still around. It was like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 8 minutes. It was like your versus your, really simple concepts. I was like, we should do that, but like hunting stuff. And rather than an hour-long episode, let's just cut right to the bone, get to the thing, and talk about it for 10 minutes, and then that's the episode done. So we could do one of those a week or 2, 3 a week. They're really short, quick, and great. That thing was taking off like a rocket ship. And eventually when there were some things that happened that like Jeff couldn't be a part of it. And at that point I was like, well, there's no, if you're not a part of it, like I'm just going to turn the whole thing off. Like I don't need to do that. But I have this other thing going on. Where to Hunt still is happening. So I brought Greg into that. I had pitched Jeff and Greg about Okayest Hunter at the same time we were talking about Huntland in the same conversation at the same bar as the Neshota House in Neshota. It's a new name now. I don't know what it's called now, but they're like, no, that doesn't make, I don't want to do that. I pitched that to you before I met with Jeff and Greg on a different night in Oconomowoc at what is now the Etc. Bar and Grill. You and I were at Roots. And then I went, so I had coffee with you and then I went and had beer with them. And I pitched Okayest Hunter to you and you understood. But Jeff's a good hunter and Greg's a good hunter. So it makes sense that you and I were vibing on not being a good hunter.
That's right.
So that's kind of it. It was like I had this desire to want to like push back against the shame I had seen. I think somewhere along the way I saw a kid getting shamed. That like really boiled my blood. And that's when I felt like I needed to take more action. I didn't know that that's where I was going to go or how to go about it, but that was kind of like the frame, scaffolding, if you will.
Yeah, no, I think it's just interesting to me the way your brain works, right? You have this experience and you're like, this stinks. And then you go, it opens your eyes and you're like, oh wow, it's happening everywhere. And then you're like, I'm going to come up with a name and then I'm going to buy the domain for it.
Yeah.
Because when we met at the coffee shop and we met via social media, like I was doing some stuff on social media trying to.
What was it called? You had some stuff. Talk about that.
I don't really.
Do you remember what it's called?
No,
you had like a brand. You're doing with some buddies.
I know I did. But
what was it called?
I don't remember what it was called. It was a terrible name though.
There's a lot going on in the logo. I remember that.
There was a whole bunch of stuff going on in the logo, and I was like,
something outdoors.
Yeah,
which I hate.
Outdoors. Yes, you made that vehemently clear the first time we met, and I was like, oh wow, I feel mildly offended here. You just told me my name was terrible, which was the truth. So thank you.
Sorry.
But it was like me and three buddies. One of them was my brother, but I was the only one who was like actually vested in trying to build something in the outdoor space. I didn't know what it was. I had no vision. I was just sort of like going and doing and trying to figure it out. And trying to connect with people on Instagram. And I saw your Where to Hunt profile, and it was Neshota. It was where you were?
Yep.
Neshota. I was like, oh wow, I live in like, hey, I'm in Oconomowoc. And you're like, oh, I'm moving to Oconomowoc. We should get coffee. And so we got coffee at Roots. And was it the first time we met or the second time we met?
First time we planted the seed, second time we watered it. Like that was it. It was pretty quick.
You were like, hey, you want in? And I was like, I'm in because I feel like I've been full circle for me on like my hunting journey where I started off like growing up. My dad sold ag equipment. And so we had access to lots of property because he had relationships with all the farmers. And this is like late 90s, like 2000, right? So we could go and you could get access to a lot of people's places. Now that had started to change right around the time that I was 12, started to be able to hunt. We had access to this 160 acre property that was loaded with deer and deer all around it. I mean, I go out and sit. I'd miss school. My dad would let me miss school to go deer hunting, which is awesome, right? Like, I don't know if that happens anymore.
Can't wait to be that dad.
I know, right? And go sit for 2 hours and see 60 deer. Like that was the type of property. Like it was like, okay, we're going to be really selective, like with what you shoot, this and that. You can choose your first buck, you can shoot whatever you want. But I was like, no, I want to kill a big deer, all this stuff. And then like that CW, it was right in the middle of the CWD. It was like 5 miles from the epicenter where it broke out around Blue Mountains. And that dried up and I kind of fell out of hunting and then got back into it, right? My in-laws own 19 acres of land not far from here. So I get to hunt that. And I come back around to like the deer that I'm hunting, like the caliber of deer is not the same. And then you get to the pressures of social media and it's like, oh, I had a deer. I just remember I was bow hunting. I didn't start bow hunting. I didn't grow up bow hunting. I picked it up as an adult. I'm bow hunting. I remember a buck walking by and I remember thinking, what is social media going to say if I shoot this deer? And that was like a turning point for me. And that was like a year or two before I met you. And so when you pitched me the day, I'm like, yes, because this is having too big of an influence on me personally. And I know I'm not the only one. And I was like, I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah, the fact that you picked up on it was pretty awesome. I think it was like, okay, well then what do we do?
Make a social media page.
So we started there, and to just kind of pressure test the market a little bit and see what kind of response we could get. And I think we were being pretty tongue in cheek about it. Our first logo was the Okayest hand signal,
Yes.
which is pretty shitty.
Yes.
It actually means something else too. I don't think it stands for just okay anymore. It means like fuck you or something.
I'm not sure.
Someone has to tell me. Calder, thank you. The concept's Bader Meinhof illusion or frequency illusion. So you start to think that that's the only car on the road once you have that one. So like you buy a Ford truck, now you see Ford trucks everywhere.
It's similar to like a confirmation bias,
Yeah.
where like you have this idea in your head and then you only see the things that confirm what you actually
It's
think.
interesting.
Yeah.
So we started this Instagram page under Okayest Hunter, which it exists. We like it wasn't taken, so we had to get Okayest Hunter like with the underscore in between the two words, and we just started posting content about failure and self-deprecation and all the stuff that like we're stuff that's actually happening to us.
Yes.
And a lot of memes, and this is before video had audio. This is before video, for starters, on Instagram. This was pictures, and like memes were memes. Eventually, GIFs were there, but GIFs without audio, and then we eventually got GIFs with audio. Then we started doing those cutouts. Then we started doing like our face, and then a thing. It continues to have evolved social media wise, but in building out of the gate, what I thought to be the most amazing thing that gave us confirmation bias around a business and around like a movement and community was all the DMs we started getting and people sharing spike bucks with us. And the aha moment was that these deer were not, we'd go look at their profile and those deer didn't exist on their profile. Like they never shared it, but they sent it to us. And then they attached a story, and the stories were pretty good. And pretty good in the sense that like there was real meaning to it, which dispels the. Where's our antlers on this table?
No, where'd it go?
I don't know. The antler logo that we have in our logo, which is a little antler, and it was something like these deer have meaning beyond the size of the rack. Grip and grins are great. We all love them. Like we're all gonna drool over that. We're gonna put deer on the wall. That's normal stuff. We aspire for those things, and that's all okay. There's no shame in that. But making people feel bad for little deer that have big stories and large meaning was like the rub, if you will. And when we got these stories, it started to tell us like, oh, we're onto something here. Like we're striking a chord, we're hitting a nerve, we're pulling a heartstring. Let's see what this feels like. And so I think we opened up some like share your stories with us, like Okayest moments. I think we still collect those somewhere. Not great at managing certain things because it gets really difficult. Then we rebranded the Where to Hunt podcast to the Okayest Hunter podcast because it just felt too big of a departure between what Where to Hunt was trying to do and what Okayest Hunter was doing. And throughout Where to Hunt, I had referenced to myself being an Okayest Hunter. We started to call it the Okayest Hunter Podcast Studio, and eventually we just kind of rolled it up. And it got real awkward at first because Where to Hunt was all about how to kill big deer by talking to other people who've done it. And so then it was very awkward for a little while. I was like, how do I talk about this now? Because our vibe has shifted. And we didn't want to think people were being shamed for shooting big deer. It was just like somewhere along the way, I think someone else had said it. It wasn't us. Someone said, my tag, my hunt, or your tag, your hunt. And we kind of adopted that and ran with it and started to own that. And then it's like, well, why would any grown man care about what another grown man has done with their tag? Why would you be concerned with that? So just stop doing that.
Yeah. Talk about though navigating that, because I'm on this podcast like once or twice a year. Depends on the guest or if I actually shoot a deer or whatever it is. But like, talk about navigating that shift though, right? That is a seismic shift, right? Kill big deer to, hey, let's be kind to one another, right? Let's, and value the story behind it, the memory that comes with that deer, and regardless of the size of it.
I mean, dude, there's obviously always your first deer,
Yeah.
which typically probably isn't your biggest unless you're like got a golden horseshoe up your butt. Then it's all downhill from there anyways, or uphill, whatever And yeah, my first deer is not big, but it's meaningful, it's memorable, it's impactful, it's like part of the story in such a way. Same thing with my first bow deer. It's tiny, big impact. Clearly, it started a whole business. That shift, though, started to happen around the same time I got into stoicism. It was 2020, and I read without even knowing, I didn't even know what that term meant, or that it was a thing, or that there's all these Stoic philosophers. I didn't know all of them or any of them, and I got real deep into Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, and then started reading all these other books, and have continued to do so for 6 years now. And in there, Ego is the Enemy was one of the main books that really, really hit me upside the head, because I didn't think I had an ego problem. That book tells you that everybody has an ego. Whether it's a problem's a different story, and there's a spectrum. And I was probably a little bit on the spectrum of like probably having an ego, and not. I had to kind of confront that. And then all I see is ego in the hunting industry. And I was like, oh my gosh, these are the dots. Like, we're trying to be kind, do the most good, make hunting approachable, so we don't lose people, so we can bring people in. And it's not even like we're aligned with R3 per se, but I just love this shit so much that I hope someone else could experience it in a way that they can love it too, because it's been so good for my life as a holistic thing. Now, my wife might argue that point a little bit at certain times. So there's got to be some balance there. But I've learned more about life from hunting than anything else.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like that first time you sit in the woods.
Yeah.
Like that first sit of the season after the chaos of summer, kids back in school, and you're like, you sit down and you go, wow, this is just different. This is what my mind, my soul needed. It's like,
yeah.
You
and
just
it's not
relax.
just nature. It's
No.
literally hunting with a weapon in hand is vastly different than sitting on a park bench somewhere watching ducks or whatever. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying hunting is different in a way that's primal, instinctive, and does something to satiate your soul that simply being an outdoor hiker cannot or won't. And maybe like rock climbing, because you're like defying gravity and you're fearing for your life in certain instances. Like, I could see that having something primal to it because there's survival involved. But taking a life has got an ethical component to it that other things don't have. And that means something. And when you get to bring that full circle into the kitchen and your kids are eating stuff, like, this is not a lifestyle. This is like a life choice, and one that's important, especially in today's culture. Like, we need to be reminded of our roots of human beings. So if someone, oh, sorry. Yeah, that's hilarious. I've had to do this for Derek.
Oh, sorry.
The camera focuses on this and then not you, so you're blurry. Sorry.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's like the tiniest little thing. Derek just called us out on it. Thanks, Derek. We love you. Sorry you're not here, buddy.
Thanks, Derek.
I don't know what you would have to say. You can call in. By the way, the phone line is open. So if someone does want to call in, you certainly can. If you have anything to add to our origin story from the perspective of a listener, that would be kind of neat. Like, I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
I see some people in here saying, like, I remember the Where to Hunt days. Like, if you want to call in and talk about that, that could be interesting. Those days were fun. Like, that was a neat time. The difference with Where to Hunt is it was mostly me, and then it was Greg and me. Greg continued through with Okayest Hunter, but then you were here. Derek came on. And in 2019, I had this like aha moment of, I can't do things by my own and expect to continue to succeed when I'm spreading myself so thin. And that's that ego piece where I let go of the control and let other people come in and had trust, which is really hard to do when you're an entrepreneur. You have some semblance of wanting to control things. And loosening up those reins has allowed us to build a community because we're putting other people first. And that's where this thing's got to be great, because it's not about us. It's about you, the listener, the people in the community. That's where Foam Fest started to come along. Greg and I had that idea at Anthony Heller's event. We should do this. This is fun. This is way more fun than just the internet. Let's bring people together. We've done that. We've done the trade shows. Anytime we get with people, it's special.
Yeah.
So that's been a big part of like this physical space too. The first when we first got this place, we tried to open up to our people, and we had a good turnout, and it was fun. I'm getting off track,
No, you're
but
good.
there's definitely been like this progression. You want to talk about shipping products till 3 a.m?
Oh yeah, we can talk about that progression too. I mean, that's that's kind of the right. We I mean, you can go back to like starting the social media side of things, right? And
Yeah.
then that's how that evolution is taking place. And then we jumped on the TikTok bandwagon and rode that. Is it better
if
now?
I can get it to focus on you. I don't know how to do it.
Okay, better.
It's this one right
Can I-
here. Yeah, maybe it will. There we go. That's
All
looking good. Okay.
Right. And then like it even goes before that, right? We signed up for that first trade show we did.
That was scary.
That was super scary.
Do you remember that? We had to walk into a bank like a married couple.
We did, yeah. We had to. I mean, it was during the pandemic, so we had to walk into a bank like a married couple with masks
With
on.
masks, you couldn't go anywhere without them.
Correct. We opened up a bank account. We formed the LLC with LegalZoom.
Yep. Mistake. Don't ever do that.
Yep. Please do not ever do that. If you're thinking about starting a business, like get a real lawyer. And then you're like, we're gonna do this trade show, and you're like, we're gonna just order like thousands of dollars worth of hats and go up and do it. And I was like, okay, all right. Because if you don't know, right, in this business relationship here, Eric is the risk taker, and I'm the
changed a little bit.
It is
recently.
a little bit. Yeah,
This is good to talk about.
I'm the risk averse one, and so the joke that we make all the time is that, hey, if I was driving this plane, right, I would have never gotten off the ground, and if Eric was, he would have crashed 10 seconds after takeoff. So it's kind of like a nice,
We balance each other
Yeah,
out
we
really,
do.
really well.
We
And I don't
do.
know that people realize that. Everyone's like, "Oh, Eric." I'm like, no, you don't understand. Tyler is keeping me on the tracks. You know.
It's interesting. It's fun. It's but I mean, we went up to that trade show though, and that was a really eye-opening experience for us. And then we also that same year we flipped on like TikTok there, and we had all the products in-house. And when I say in-house, I really mean in my house. Like
we were doing both for a minute.
yes, everything.
We had some products at mine and some at yours. So we were like, I would take some orders, you would take some
that
orders.
was
But it's like you
terrible.
had some stuff that you had to bring to me, and I had some stuff to bring to you. It started to get pretty. So then you're like, just fuck it, bring it all to me, i.e. you.
Yes.
And that helped. But then you had all of it. And I was a spaz about it because and my wife yelled at me for this. When an order came in, I was like, fill it now. And you're like, what are you doing? Batch these, pick your days and do it. But then what happens is they filled up.
It got to be October, November, and things went a little bit nuts, right? And keep in mind, I had like 14 or 15 boxes of hats like in my office at my house. My office is not large, right? Thank goodness for virtual backgrounds. But they were just like stacked up in there, and it got crazy where it was like 50 orders a day, and I couldn't keep up, right? And we were like, oh, you guys suck at shipping. You're no Amazon. It's like, no, I'm just in the office of my
working a day job, raising
Working
a young
house, yeah.
family. Yeah. Making trips to the post office with boxes falling out of my front seat.
That was wild. Yeah. The post guy, I would like schedule a pickup order. He's like, I think you're going to have to take these. And he's like, I don't have room for all of these boxes like that are stacked up on the front porch there. And it was a wild time. Like I pretty much fell off the content bandwagon there because I was just boxing orders from like 8, 9 o'clock at night until 1 o'clock in the morning. That was a
That's a part of the business that's run really well now. Not to say it wasn't then, but in such a way that we don't post about it because we're not doing it. Literally, we are not doing it. We have a partner vendor that's handling that for us and doing an amazing job because he's doing handwritten notes, using our branded tape, like printing stuff on demand. Like this is pretty well done.
Yes.
And I remember when you offloaded that, I could see the relief and your shoulders just lift like, we shipped it all to him. It's out of my hands. Jesus, take the wheel. Like it was a pretty big moment. There's a cost to that. And I think it's worth it because the opposite was your time.
Well, and it was just
insanity.
It's time insanity, but like
and late nights.
But from a business standpoint, I wasn't adding any value to the business outside of
packing orders. You couldn't go do. There was no working in the business, not on the business.
Correct. And so there's a lot of stuff that we've done since then that I've had a hand in some degree, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it can be from a content perspective, it can be from the way we've structured this business or whatever it is, right? Financially, whatever, and I wouldn't be able to do that without offloading that stuff, right? And without offloading that stuff, right? It's giving up control, like you just talked about with ego is the enemy, giving up control of this to be able to go and do something else. That can keep the foot on the gas and keep the thing moving.
Yeah. And then in there, we've started to I say it like that, but like we were able to send people to Oregon for a hunt. We're able to go to turkey camp together. So out of this business has blossomed some like pretty robust friendships that I don't take for granted in any sense at all. Like Matt Strime, Greg Tubbs, Derek Melkor, we're like the 5 best friends that anyone's had. We're in a group text that I think it's lit up daily.
Yes.
Somewhere along, I'm trying to think about all the stuff. I'm like missing up the chronological order here, but we also have a podcast network that started too. And were you the second one or were you the third one? Greg and Matt were the
third one,
problem.
Yeah.
They're the ones that demanded we do a fishing podcast.
Correct.
That's where that started.
Correct. And we had talked about doing a podcast network for a little while before it
We didn't know
started.
what to do.
We didn't know how we wanted.
We were on Waypoint. And we're like, look what they're doing. This is kind of neat. Like, okay. But we wanted to think about it a little bit more strategically. And it's so funny. I think I said to you, like, wow, we've done some things kind of smart. But looking back, it sounds smart. You can look in the rear view of a business story and like apply whatever narrative over the top you want. I'm trying to not do that. We weren't that freaking smart. Looking back, I could say we made this bet and it worked out and we placed this because we saw that and we could see around corners. That's not true. We're responding to things. Like we do believe in data. We do believe in feedback loops. And we try to take that information to make the best choices possible. But when Greg and Matt came to us for the fishing podcast, I had told them no. It was like the scene from Step Brothers. Can we make a bunk bed? No. Okay, fine. And then they, there's so much blood. There's no blood. And when we did that, then you were like, well, you had the off lead podcast you were doing. And you had an e-com site you were reselling stuff on.
Yes. So
spend some time there. We'll talk about how Upduck took shape. And then we brought on Elizabeth, then Zach, and then so forth.
Yeah. So I'm not as crazy as Eric with having so many businesses, but at one point in time, I had my hands in a zillion.
You kind of are, though.
I had my
not
hands,
that dissimilar.
I had my hands in a zillion cookie jars because there was.
You're training dogs.
Correct.
You're running this.
Correct.
You had off lead. You had off lead e-com.
Yeah. Yes. So
I'm missing anything in here?
No. I mean, there's
social media
consulting. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. For some
and you have a day job.
And I have a day job.
In
yeah.
the finance industry.
The newborn at home, like all that stuff. But yeah, I was at the same time that Okayest Hunter was taking shape, right? We put in the LLC for that. I think I had done the same thing for, it was Gun Dog Outpost was the site.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Okay.
Yep.
What was I calling it? Oh, the podcast was called Off Lead.
Podcast, okay. Yep. And so Eric was like, you need to spin up a podcast off of this to generate leads and listens and traffic. And I was like, that's a great idea because I love talking about training dogs, right? And so it was all about training dogs. And there's so many of those podcasts out there now, but it was
actually most of our trade show booth traffic is because of A, your dogs, and B, people that want to get training advice from you.
That's true.
So like you have a reputation. Good job.
But I had Okayest Hunter, I had the social media component, and like the social media component, the podcast, then the business, the shipping that product to, and it was just like, there's this, and then there's this. I'm training dogs on the side. I'm a 9-to-5, like actual client dogs, right? Through another trainer. And
you only got bit once.
Only once. Yeah. That was toward the end. Still got the scar here to show it too. But I had a point where I'm like, I can't do all of this. I need to condense this. And I'm like, doing a podcast by yourself is really hard.
Yeah. It's got alternative challenges to having multiple hosts because that's hard too, but in different ways. But always having to have a guest makes it really tricky.
Yeah.
Since that's why you're sitting here today.
Correct. It's just hard though, because it's like you can let your schedule kind of manage things, but if you have other people that are depending on you, it's sort of like, okay, yep, this is the time, this is what we're gonna do. And I was like, okay, I'm getting burned out from this podcast. Like I just have to stop. And this other e-commerce site, this business, I've just shut it down. I'm like, I have to put my eggs in this basket.
Different business though too, because reselling strips away a lot of the margin you would have.
Correct.
So you need to do a lot of quantity, right? And
Correct.
to do that, you need to grow a really big top line, and that takes an amount of energy that's really hard. And
yeah.
the success of this thing was really just
Yes.
moving.
I had this calculation here, and instead it was like here, and I was like, oh yeah, that's total like new entrepreneur not understanding how this is actually going to work. But I shut it down. It's a failed business, but it's
Same. I've those too.
It's a learning lesson because you also started a business during this other businesses during this time as well, right? So
yeah, content business.
Yep, content business,
which would be totally destroyed today given the AI world we live in.
So like that shut down, and I was like, okay, we're done. And I had stopped podcasting. I'm like, man, the best part about podcasts is just the relationships you build. Like the first wave of guests I had on there, there's friends from that. There's a professional trainer down in Kansas that I had on that podcast. I don't know how I convinced him to come on it, but he's a good friend. I've met him twice in person. I talk to him every single day. He tells me everything I do wrong with dogs, which is great. I need that kind of feedback.
That's great.
Yeah. But we get fast forward, and I remember the conversation for the podcast network, Eric. It wasn't like, oh, I didn't like jump up and say, oh, I want to do a podcast. I had said, hey, man, I kind of miss podcasting. And then the next week, I think you said, oh, by the way, you're going to do a podcast on dogs and duck hunting and pheasant hunting or bird hunting. So figure it out.
I don't know. I feel like you're like, I should do it. And I was like, you should do it. And you're like, maybe I should do it. I was like, dude, do it. Why wouldn't you? Let's go. We'll have 3 shows on our network. Come on.
Yeah.
And then you found 2 co-hosts. So you have Jeff and Matt, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and I wanted to do it different because I didn't want to repeat the same mistakes where it's like I'm doing it by myself and I just burn myself out. And I was like, I want to do it with co-hosts. One, right?
How did you meet your co-hosts?
One through social media.
Was that Jeff? Or was that Matt?
No, that was Matt through social media. Dogs. He does dog training, like hunt test type stuff or whatever. And so I think I had met him in person but didn't know it. But then I found him on social media. I was like, oh yeah, hey, by the way, this and that. And then I was, we chatted every once in a while, and I was like, hey, do you want to do this? Like, you're kind of like the person that I'm looking for, like your background, what you hunt, the type of thing you do with dogs. And then I wanted somebody else who was more in like the pointing world. And then I met Jeff through his wife. My wife took pictures for him and his wife, family photos. And they struck up a conversation, and then all of a sudden I met Jeff. I went hunting a couple of times, and I was like, "Oh, we're gonna make 2 co-hosts."
I feel like a couple of years.
Yeah, we had like 117 episodes.
If someone can get past 100 episodes or at least a year as a group of dudes and not like break up the band, that's pretty impressive.
We've taken 4 out-of-state trips together. I mean,
and you guys are still okay. Like someone else drove a car and you guys are still friends. That's great.
I mean, I just sit in the back seat of Jeff's car and we drive down to Oklahoma, and I don't look how fast we're going.
I love that.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff. He's not going to listen. Maybe he will. But like, and we just got it together and started it. And I think what I was looking for was a different dynamic. I had seen what you had done with Derek and Greg and having that dynamic of co-host and how that changed things.
A bunch of married couples all in the same room.
Yeah, but even with guests and just different experiences, different backgrounds, different expertise, right? Like what my co-hosts do, right, is stuff that I don't. They built their own duck boats. No, I work a white collar job for a reason. I'm not building my own duck boat anytime soon. Okay. Like it's just different, but it's good, right? Having that diverse backgrounds, be able to speak to different things, and just, it brings in different pieces of conversation. They ask questions of guests that I would not think to ask because they think things differently than I do. Right. I mean, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. When you're pushing buttons and doing stuff like this, it's like, if I got Greg and Derek or you or whoever, like it's really good to have someone who's still checked into the conversation, critically thinking, and can ask a thought-provoking question where I'm like, wait, what do we just shit? I don't want to, which would be a disservice to the listeners.
Yeah.
Like, I think y'all listening, if I'm not on my game asking good questions, like that's a shitty listening experience. Now, by the way, comments are open, phone lines are open. Again, if you guys want to jump in, 262-757-4122, you can call into our show. That's usually the case most weeks. Some weeks I don't. If I know we're gonna have a certain guest, I just don't want to like have an interruption. I'll just leave it. What's Derek saying here? Derek. the work you have both put in is incredible. Seriously, it's been nothing short of impressive. It's been okay, Derek.
It's been okay. Yeah.
You've put in a ton of work.
Yeah.
More to come on that front too. We're
Mhm.
looking to make an announcement here soon on some other fun stuff. But that being said too, I guess we'll get to the dropping pins stuff. But there's another announcement on the backside of that I'm excited
Later.
to share later. I can't breathe.
Yep.
The stupid cough has just been.
I'm
healthy. Okay, there's no concern. I'm on antibiotics. I'm on steroids. I'm on everything I can be. I have an inhaler, all this stuff, and it's just.
got an inhaler.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
For these flare-ups, it helps. It you
yeah.
inject some albuterol on there, and suddenly it's okay.
I'm taking albuterol my whole life.
Yeah,
So-
I had asthma really bad in high school. Like so much that if I ran to catch a bus to go to Summerfest, I fucking healed over and puked. So not good. Yeah, but then I decided to just say I don't have asthma, and I just ran through it and kept puking all the time until I told my body to stop being a little biatch. So that's why I run so hard this summer.
You're insane.
It's stupid. I'm not insane now. I'm just stupid. I'm like dad bod for life.
Okay, podcast network.
So yeah, then I think Elizabeth reached out then. Elizabeth Brownell, she is no longer on the network because she is a mom to 2 kids now. But she was like, hey, can I join your network? I was like, our what? Our what? Say what now? We have a network? I was like, I guess we do. I was like, well, I don't know. We haven't done this with anybody outside of our 4 walls. So I don't know what that looks like. Let's figure it out. So we, I think, consulted legal or got a contract drafted up, which I hate formal stuff. And just to align on expectations so we knew what everyone was getting out of this. And we wanted to give as much value as we possibly could. So we stacked the deck in our podcast network host's favor. Like the tattoo says, give more than you take. So we try to do that. And then after her, I think Zach Hansen reached out. He wrote the book at the time, had just come out, Turning Feral. He's doing trapping. He's like, would you want to have a trapping show network? I was like, actually, that was on our list. Because we thought we had after Elizabeth, we thought, oh, let's think about how we really want to do this. And that's where it started to get a little bit more strategic. We're like, let's hit these veins of the outdoor world. But more important than the category, the people have to understand how we roll without ego, with kindness, with just being human and I don't know, a little irreverent to a degree. And I think the people we have by and large fit that really well. So you could go from our show to another show on the network and catch most of the same vibe, but from a different, Okayest Cook or, Western Territory or Wild Strength or Southern U. It's been a progression, but these guys are all really turkey season. Everyone's doing really cool shit. Bowyer podcast, so forth. I'm not sure if I got all of them. If I missed someone, I'm sorry, guys. But that's been organic and not super sought after. We kind of know what is on the horizon, what we'd like to fill, but we're not chasing it really hard. We'll put out a loose feeler, and most of these have come from intros from other people in the network, I think.
Or people reaching out.
Known.
Yeah, people have reached out to
we've
us.
Turned some folks down, or we've kind of paused on some things. We didn't. The other one I forgot was Okay Shooter, which is Jared. He's great. I remember talking to him. I was driving my minivan on my way home from my parents' place from Christmas or something, and I just remember thinking, this dude's got a lot going on. Let's circle back, make sure you really want to do this because it's a lot. Podcasting's no joke. And then he came on, and I think he's got one of the hardest ones because to be so confident, but then not pontificate in the gun world feels really a hard, tricky line to walk. Yeah. And he's doing such a great job of that. He's a really good human.
He is, and man, you talk to him, and you're like, this guy knows his stuff.
Yeah, and he knows the stuff. There's that confidence, and with that confidence, you don't have to have the ego to come with it. Versus if you don't know, you maybe overcompensate and you come off a certain way. So that's critically important to how we do things for blog writing, for podcasts, social media. I don't know. So what does that mean for us? What are we? We're primarily a media company. We have merch.
Yeah.
And e-com. So we've gotten really good at running ads. You've done really amazing coming into that. I think our first time we ever ran an ad was much earlier on. We talked about the TikTok days of 2020, 2021. And I think we had, I can't think of his name right now. He works at Latitude now. Starts with the B.
Jake Bush.
No,
Nope.
no, the dude Brandon.
Brandon
helped us
Oh yeah.
with our
Brandon.
first ad
Yeah,
campaign.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we just kind of like ran with it from there.
Yeah.
But that's been through so many changes with AI and Meta, and like it's totally different world now. We use server-side tracking. We're trying to level up our email. Like on the digital realm, guys, we leave no stones unturned. Like even if you go to your Giphy account and you type in hunting or Okayest Hunter, like we have a lot of. I think we have, dude. It's stupid. This isn't. I don't know what the stat is. Let me check because I'm curious.
You check. And I'll just tell you, the Giphy thing was all Eric. I don't think I even know how to log into our Giphy account.
I don't know either. Here it is. I'm in here. 65 million views on Giphy. Oh, it's pretty weird. Just like me drinking a beer. It's the first sip, stuff like that. We really, I'm also a big follower of Gary Vaynerchuk. I got to meet him in 2019. So we've just been executing the stoic playbook against Gary Vaynerchuk and social media. And it's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard to stay relevant. It's hard to be omnipresent. It's not easy. And we've been saying the same thing for 6 years. The message hasn't really changed. We continue to say the same stuff. We just find new ways to say it or new ways to like wrap it in 360 cameras now.
Yep.
Or whatever the hell it is we're doing. But like trends change. Our ethos stays the same as the anchor point of that. Yeah.
What do we miss? What about the okayestmedia.com too?
We tried that. There's people that have interest in spinning that up with us. We would need an editor-in-chief. So if there's anybody in the writing world, we've tried this. It's very capital intensive to fund writers who deserve to get paid what they're worth and do that on a regular basis when that particular thing in and of itself is not generating revenue to sustain it. Meaning you'd have to be a big enough property with enough eyeballs and ears coming into a digital platform. Field and Stream, Outdoor Life, which is owned by Recurrent Ventures. Field and Stream got bought by the Country Singers. They're no longer in Recurrent Ventures. So these brands make money with sponsorship, ad placement, and affiliate marketing. Okayest.media could mimic that, but has nowhere near the legacy and gravitas behind it as these legacy brands do in the media realm. But for those that don't know, Okayest Hunter on paper is base layer media. The logo for base layer media is 3 mountains in one kind of triangle, 3 different colors. That stems from a Gary Vaynerchuk thing talking about there's 3 types of content. You have written word, audio, spoken word, and then you have visual, picture, video. And it's important to have 3 because you should meet customers where they are. And in doing so, meeting them where they are could be email, could be YouTube, could be Carbon TV, could be editorial, could be experiential, could be podcast, and then accommodating preferences, which is I like to read. I like to watch videos. I like to listen to podcasts. I like to do all 3, but maybe I read my email in the morning when I sip my coffee. I listen to my podcasts on my commute, and I watch videos on YouTube on the TV at night after the kids go to bed. If you're not in all 3 of those places, then you're not prepared to go out into the digital realm, base layer media. So you don't go out into the deer woods without your base layers on first. And those are the 3 components that make up, in my opinion, a strong media company. Look at Meat Eater. They crush on written because Steve's writing books. They were huge on Netflix before they ripped that off and are on their own, but they hit video, and their editorial is pretty damn good by and large. They have the 3 pillars to go out to market in the digital realm and be a media company. So we are a media company. We happen to have merch. Meat Eater has merch. Everyone has merch.
Yep. Merch sucks.
And you don't have to know us to wear an antler on your hat. That's the difference. I love what Working Class Bowhunter has done because their following, I don't mean this in a negative way, is cult-like. It's blood in and blood out with those guys. Like if you're in, you get it. And if you go to the trade show, those guys sling so much merch. But if you don't know who Working Class Bowhunter is, none of their shirts make sense to you. But if you listen to their show, every shirt is like an inside joke from the show. Or it's brand, which again, if you love them, you love them. For us, if you know us, you'll buy it, maybe. But if you don't know Okayest Hunter and you happen to see our merch, you might just buy it anyways because it's funny because it's a small antler. Then you might get to know us better. If we're doing a good job on our digital marketing efforts with our email and our retargeting and blah, 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 blah. So we're more a media company than we are a D2C company. I think we're learning this over time. We're trying to figure out who we are, what we are. And that media has to tie back to our mission, which is to end deer shaming. So anything we put out has to come back to that key point. And it's all tied back every time. Nothing we do ever is outside of that. I don't think. We also donate to conservation.
True. Yep.
We have kids. We want this to last for a long time. We care about things. It's a very local conservation group here in Wisconsin. But like, well, why wouldn't it be? Yep. It's really hard to give to the big ones. So you have to have like a certain threshold or they won't even bother with you. And so why not do it somewhere we can see the impact?
Yeah. And it's cool because every time we donate, they're like, you guys are awesome.
They're very thankful.
Just genuinely thankful. Like, how can we help you?
But I've yet to get drawn to hunt a fucking property.
Yeah.
Since we started doing it. So I'm not getting any preferential treatment over here.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I mean, there is a lot going on. And like we are definitely figuring out we're definitely a media company first. And everybody's got merch, like you said. And for a while, we weren't sure what we were.
Well, speaking of you being the pinching penny guy, last year you went a little ham on merch.
I did, yeah.
That was right. It was last year, 2025. You put in some orders for lots of stuff, and I was like, all right, yeah, this all looks good. Like, what do I know? This is great.
Yeah.
And then you're like, we might have went a little too hard on the merch.
We did. It was true. It's true. Well,
so it's hard to market too.
It's hard to market. I think like for a while, like if we're
not making products.
No,
we're not engineers. We're not solving like gear problems. We're not a 3D printing company. We're not manufacturing saddles. We support a lot of brands that do that stuff and we love them. That's trying to figure out our strength, you know?
Yeah. And it took a while to like, we got in, we bought like all these hats. We saw all this product, but our margins stunk. Like it just stunk. And I look at it and I was like, we got to fix this. And it took like 2 years to build a supply chain with like an actual sustainable margin to be able to run ads effectively and profitably and long-term and all that stuff. And so then it's finally built out and I spent like 6 months going back and forth, like designing there were like 10 other designs, like hat concepts that we had that we couldn't buy them all. We still bought too many because I was like really excited. Yeah. Really excited. So yeah, if you're coming to the Dells, we might have some nice deals for you.
Yeah. Well, if you come to the Dells trade show, we're going to have hats this year that we didn't have there last year that have been for sale online, but like, we're probably going to try to clear house on them. So like stop by the booth, you know,
they look better in person. They do online too.
Yeah, they do. I mean, you can touch them and stuff. And that's a big component. Like if you can't touch the baby ones, you're missing the bamboo feel, you're probably not buying. But if you go to the trade show, we sold out of them last year in like the first day. Yeah. Because grandma at every family pushing a kid in a stroller wanted to buy that thing.
There were 100 people who wanted to buy the corduroy hat that we have online.
We didn't have it.
We didn't have it, right? Yeah. It was coming. I don't know if 100 people bought the corduroy hat.
No, right. Yep. So there's a little bit of that impulsivity that happens in real life. Yeah, Foam Fest will be fun again this year.
Yep.
So, okay, we can put this could go on for a while. In terms of future looking, dropping pins is going to be a big deal because Derek has been doing these scouting seminars. I don't know if I would call it scouting series.
Scouting series, yes.
With other mature buck hunters, killers. And so this is, if I go back to the Where to Hunt days, this feels more that direction. However, Derek is the pinnacle of the exemplar of someone I think should be in this position as a teacher, B, someone who can speak from experience of getting it done, and without being an asshole about it. Derek has never been condescending to another human ever. And so because he's a teacher, he's got this innate ability to navigate scouting and breaking it down and sharing information with others that he just wants to see other people succeed. It's quite amazing. And so now he's invited others to go with him where they explore a new property to them that neither of them have stepped foot on. And they go break it down and then they come back and discuss and figure out, like, what did you see? What did I see? What do you think of this? How would you tackle it? What can we share with people watching? That drops tomorrow evening on our YouTube channel. It's a Dropping Pins scouting series. public land scouting series. There are 3 of them. One is finished and ready to launch tomorrow. The other 2 are being worked on and will be launching in the next 2 weeks. They're timely. It's a lot of footage. This is like an hour and a half long of just Derek and whoever he's with. I think the first one's Brian Dombrowski, and they're just walking through the woods, explaining all this stuff. And it's quite amazing. So on the back of that, when we land where we're going to land with this whole renting a business space, the translation of that a little bit is going to be taking some of those learnings, maybe even with those people, and hosting some sort of seminar on our physical location, which we were going to do here because it's set up for it and we can't. So like, you don't have a real business if you don't have real business problems.
Correct.
And the amount of problems we have to solve on any given day are quite aplenty. And so here we are trying to make this little thing work, and we appreciate everyone's support, because if we didn't have you guys and gals listening, there'd be nothing here. And that's across the network, of course, but it started here with this show and this guy here, who I don't think has gotten enough airtime to talk about.
That's okay. I'm fine being behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I don't need to be in front of the camera.
Yeah. You don't even need to read Ego is the Enemy, Tyler.
I have though. It's a great book.
Calder, it's been awesome to see Okayest brand grow. I think the pendulum is starting to swing back from the size of the rack to the meaning behind the deer that was harvested. I started city hunting in the last 4 years. This is a different person, Jacob Mitchell. I started city hunting in the last 4 years, and it has changed me into if a nice doe walks by guy. And I love your guys' gear. Thank you very much. Yeah, so to the point about like navigating big bucks, we want to be very careful to be like, what I've learned by guessing on other shows, and I've gotten raked through some comments about it, which is great because it's good exercise for me to like spar against and understand how to speak about a brand. Our small logo means we're promoting killing spikes. No, we're promoting shoot whatever the hell you want. It's your tag. Be proud of it. Don't disrespect the animal. Don't demean yourself. And if a spike is the one, then great. If it's a 170-inch deer, also great. We've talked about how guys that shoot big deer get shamed. Oh, must have been this. Oh, you lucky. Oh, you paid for. Oh, like you get shame knows no bounds or limits. It's across the spectrum, but we believe in different, not better. That's been something I've said for a long time after reading a book called Play Bigger. And our antler logo, when I redesigned it, sitting at my desk on my lunch break, looking at a small antler, I was like, this is the jam. This is what people have been messaging us about. This is what we need to do. It's different. It's not better. It's not bigger. It's the smallest antler in the whole damn hunting industry. And it's the only one that represents what we have. So that's kind of it. I don't know. That's kind of where we're at.
It's good. Yeah.
I hope everyone checks out the dropping pin stuff. I'm really proud of what Derek's doing there.
Yeah, that's pretty legit and awesome. I mean, the first one, wasn't he out when that really cold weekend when we had like the exploding trees warning?
Yeah. His beard's like it's frozen like the whole time.
Solid, yeah. Straight up beardsicle.
Yeah. It smells like just breath.
Ooh, yeah. Coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty neat.
It's cool.
No calls. That's okay. We'll keep you guys updated as we navigate this renting situation. Worst case, we end up back in my basement, save a bunch of money. Best case, we find something that works for us.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Partnerships, everything's locked in for the most part. We might have some new takers coming on. We'll see what that looks like. We don't want to overdo it, but just like our podcast hosts, it's got to be a fit and it's got to make sense. And we know that all humans can smell bullshit a mile away. Our listeners, we respect and care about you. And if we don't have you, then we don't have a thing to do. So we're navigating some conversations right now, and we'll see where those end up. But big shout out to our partners too, like Gerber Gear is continuing to stick with us this year, and we have some fun things on deck that we actually talked to them about earlier today. I'm enthused about. I did get my other knife, not the one that was confiscated, but this one is the very lightweight one. I forget the name of this one. This thing weighs nothing. And so my other one had some weight to it, which I kind of liked. But now I kind of like this one. So because I don't realize it's there, which is kind of neat. So we have these guys. Rack hub. We have 3 antlers outside of this wall, all hoisted up by a rack hub mount. which are really cool because you can tilt it forward, sideways, up, down. You can do a lot of stuff, and it's a really inexpensive way to, if you're not going to do a shoulder mount or you got something that's maybe not worthy of those dollars, it's a great way to preserve the memory. And Latitude, the saddle stuff has been great. So I've killed all the deer I've got, I think, except for this one, we're out of a saddle.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of saddle hunting. I don't hunt out of a saddle. I don't have a stand. And nozzle we talked about. I think I got everybody. Quick Trip, we have a lot of fun with those guys.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
we just eat donuts, and it's kind of like the jam.
We eat donuts and chicken and whatever else they're serving.
Dude, the chicken, my kids are becoming obsessed with the chicken there, like more than Culver's chicken. They want Quick Trip chicken.
It's not a bad thing.
And it's not bad at all. Like, especially when we're on like road trip and I'm like, I'll stop at Quick Trip, I'll get them their juices, and I'll get a whole thing of chicken, and they just scarf it down. Our van's a nightmare, dude. It's so messy. I had to clean it the other day, and I was like, what, dude, why did it get this bad? It's just terrible.
It's yeah, I mean, let's not even talk about that. I mean, it's my wife's car, my truck. It's yeah, I had somebody get in it and we're like, hey, do you live in this thing? No, sorry.
No, my kids do though.
No.
They eat in it, they sleep in it, like they freaking A, man.
Yes.
It's wild times.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Turkey camp, we'll have to start planning that soon, I think. Yeah. Maybe not the driftless again this year. Maybe we can have some other people go. I know we were trying to meet up with some other friends, like the Newcomb guys were out in Wisconsin. So maybe we hitch up with those guys. They're not an official partner, but we have their blinds out there, and they've helped with a lot of giveaways that we've done. So Newcomb is great. Pat's a really good dude. I got to hang out with him at ATA again. He's got more hats than we do.
Really?
It's just, I'm like, Pat, what the hell? But he owns a really successful tree company too. So I think his blinds are doing really well. I also know that if you're going to be in this industry, like, you better be in this industry for love of hunting and outdoors, because we're not here to get rich. Like, you're not gonna. And if you are, you're probably exploiting something in such a way that's going to feel like icky. And I refuse to do that. This is going to be built the right way, and it's going to be tied to our mission. And I will not tolerate anything that isn't tied to that. And I don't mean that in an onerous way. Just the people we're rowing with get it and feel it. And we all pressure test each other too.
Yeah.
So
yes,
no decisions are made in vacuums here.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I think though, right, you have a vision for how you want it to work though too, right? And so you've done a really good job of envisioning that from the people to the partners and making everything feel and fit, right? Because it is, our brand is this brand is real, it's authentic, and so partners have to fit that, right? We can't, and it really has to feel like that. It can't be something that just doesn't fit. And so we've said no.
And, we don't hate on the brands. Like,
no.
I don't hate's a strong word anyways. I don't really like that word at all, but like, I don't not like Sitka, but Sitka doesn't make sense for us.
No.
I think Montana Knife Co. makes really great knives. They can make really great knives, but like, I don't think our listeners are buying $400 heirloom knives. I think we lose more knives in the woods than anybody else is Okayest Hunter. So Gerber's a great price point for a quality product, made in Portland, USA.
Correct.
So like, fantastic. Latitude, they're in Michigan. They've been with us since 2019.
It's crazy.
I personally know those guys well enough. We've sent both of the guys where they had babies, onesies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's real relationships here that matter beyond the financials.
Yeah. All right. Question for you.
Yeah.
What's your proudest moment? Or give me a couple of them anyway. What sticks out to you?
I don't know. I think the first time I did the trade show was a pretty big one for me.
Yeah.
It felt tangible.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain that, but I remember stopping at Greg's house. So he helped with these pallets that are like made out of petrified wood. It was our 10x10 booth. I threw it in my Ford pickup truck, drove up to Dell's, and built it up myself. And you're like, are you crazy? Just wait till I'm here in the morning. I'm like, no, I got to get it done now. I was so hell-bent on suffering in such a way that, because I wanted to earn it. And I love that. I'm loving it less as I get older and busy with kids, but it felt real and tangible. I drove my truck into the expo and I unloaded and I built it and I took pictures of it, and we had our hats. We had like our just embroidered hats with the antler. We had like 4, and we didn't really have shit.
Okay, we have some candy.
We didn't have any t-shirts.
Yeah.
I don't even think we had candid hunter. We could look at the picture, but it was like the first time it felt real and tangible. And then we did it. And the disheartening part was like, we didn't actually make any money.
Oh,
I was like, what do you mean? We sold all this stuff. And then I started to learn the hard way that like this shit's difficult.
Yeah.
I think last year we were profitable.
for the first
But,
time
but like,
ever.
but like not,
Yeah.
but like that's like by a couple dollars or something, you know?
So like for folks that don't know, when you exhibit at a trade show, people there are exhibiting are not making money.
It's a marketing expense.
Correct.
No, some can. That's not entirely true. You really could.
You could, yeah.
Um,
Some of the draw names like Working Class, they sling so much gear, but yet you still have travel and hotel and
food and gas
and like
booth expenses.
yes,
Cost of goods sold.
yes, that's a huge one. It's like, oh, top line, we paid
Your
money.
time if you're billing it, if you
Correct.
actually are a company and like you're paying payroll, which we don't do that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of costs. Jacob, Mitchell, no, we've been to the Iowa Deer Classic. We tried that one 3 years ago.
Did a couple, yeah.
It was fine. I don't think we had our model worked out good enough, but that
No.
one, the travel of that one was such that it was more expensive, and I think it was fine. But it was a tax on us.
It was like an
Just
8-hour
with-
drive. It was
Because
so
it's
hard.
like it created a back-to-back environment with the other trade show, and like our wives and our kids and our family were like, well, "Are you just gonna be doing these all the time?" So then we started like, that's another thing. How many trade shows are we gonna do? Which ones? Where do we go? Do you know how many times I get asked for me at Gaios or NWTF? You know how bad I want to go to NWTF? We got invited this year. We got a booth that could have been offered to us, and it's like not in the cards. It just isn't gonna work.
You texted it to me, and I just said no. It's not in the budget.
Yep, which is hard because we don't do it full time. So then we miss out on some of these opportunities. And then I have to be reminded and okay with this is going to take longer to build because we're doing it at 0.25% of the rate because we're only putting 0.25% of our time into it because we have day jobs and families.
Yeah.
If it were full time, probably do a lot more stuff. But because we're not full time, we don't have to be desperate about it. And we can take our time and do it the right way.
Yep.
And that's important to me. I'm not relying on this to pay my bills.
No,
So-
definitely not.
I don't have to make dumb decisions. I don't have to like, I really need the money.
Yeah.
Better sign this deal with this brand I fucking hate.
Yeah.
Don't have to do that.
I got tricked into that once with the old podcast. You get,
And you're excited because like, cool,
Oh,
I
so
landed something.
excited.
But then you're like, what am I doing? We've never had to do that. We went at the Dells Trade Show. It's March 27th, whatever weekend that is, at the Kalahari in the Dells. We will be there. Same booth as last year. I'm also presenting at that. Derek was going to, but he is traveling. So then I was like, well, I can do something. And so it'll be about this topic, kind of. I have a bit of a skeleton deck worked out that I can present against, and it's about like being a content creator, podcaster, whatever the hell we are in this space, and how to navigate some of that. Because I think there's a lot of people that are curious about it.
Yeah.
Because the barrier of entry has been lowered.
yes,
But we've been at it for 6 years, so I got some shit to say.
you do. You got experience, man.
Are we good?
I'm good. Yeah. What else do you want to talk about? Did I miss anything?
No, I don't know. I mean, we probably missed everything, but it's all good.
Yeah.
Thanks for bailing me out
Hey,
tonight, buddy. I know you got to go record Up Ducks, so
I do. In about 2 hours, we'll hit record
oh
on
my
that
goodness. And you got to put your kids to bed before that, probably, or something.
one.
So
Correct. Yes.
cool. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate you. Stay tuned for dropping pins to drop. Let us know what you think of that. If you got any leads on buildings in Oconomowoc, let me know. What else? Any other housekeeping items?
No, just thank you for listening and thank you for coming on this journey with us.
We'll see you in the Dells for those that are in the area. And stay tuned for some of the stuff we have some giveaway stuff we're going to launch in March.
Yeah.
That should be a lot of fun, and it's usually good for y'all because, like, what do we care? Like, we don't get to touch all this fun stuff that we give away.
Yeah.
And if we can hit it right, it'd be pretty good. So we're trying. We're working on behind the scenes. All right. Well, I'll stop
That's it.
talking.
That's it.
See you, everybody. Have a good week.